Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. So, it's Monday morning, it's a bit quiet in here today. John's off for a week, Carlos is off, so I am on my own and I'm up against it. So just a little sort of update on what we got going on. The Healy guys, we've ordered all the bits for that. But unfortunately, we've gone for the better JP pistons at plus 60, because this is at plus 40 already, and they're not going to be here for about 10 days. So unfortunately, we're not really going to be able to go a lot further on the build with this until the end of next week. But I can get that set up and bored today, and also faced, and then the block is all finished. John is in the process of doing the cylinder head at the moment, which I shall probably continue with when I've got a spare 10 minutes. And then that is, as I say, all the bits on order, so then we can crack on with that one. The two Cosworths over the back, which I did the last video on the timing. Just want to thank all you guys for your comments. Yes, there are different sort of ways and methods of doing that timing, but that's the method I use, always used it. And I hope it sort of made sense, me explaining myself there. But yeah, they're all done. I'm going to give those boys a ring today and see what they want to do about getting them back to them, and load them up on a pallet. So, my mission for today, the engine here for Phil, the guy from America. This one is, I've just got the crank in this morning. We are waiting to hear back on a set of rods. Now, I showed you the rods in the last video. So these look like the surface of the moon. We are not going to be using those. So we're waiting to hear back from our supplier on a set of H-section com rods. But they, by the sounds of it, they're going to have to come from Germany. It's about a week delivery, but I've sort of begged and pleaded with them if they can do them any quicker than that, because obviously we're on week 2 now. And we've only got till the end of next week to get this thing done. So I would like to get this pretty much done by the end of this week, really, if I can. The cylinder head. So this is the cylinder head. Now this is out of a sapphire Cosworth. It's a moonstone blue one. I did ask him. He did paint the rocker cover moonstone blue himself, but it was all looking a little bit grotty. So we blasted that right back. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in the moonstone blue, the same as the car, and machine over the top. I think that I've never done one before in the moonstone, although not original. I think that's going to look really nice. So the head's all pretty much back together. I'm going to get this paint on order, and then we can paint that in a bit. I stuck the crank in this morning, but I've just got to torque it up. It all turns nice and freely, and the pistons are all there ready to go. So it's just the rods really that are holding me back. Oh, and the big end bearings. I've had to order some King race bearings. They should be here tomorrow. So fingers crossed, guys, I can get those rods in the next day or two. Right then, guys. This is, suppose, it's not a warranty story, but it's a sort of horror story, if you like, and also a little bit of an educational vlog. So, the only reason this has sort of popped up in my head is because I've had 3 phone calls today for prices on engines for diesel vans. And as you all know by my warranty videos, etc., I'm not overly keen by these diesel engines in vans, but we will get involved, as I've said before, we'll get involved with some. One, providing that we're not overly busy with the stuff that we are more set up for, so the classic and the performance stuff. At the moment, we are up to our eyeballs in it, and really the only option to get it done anytime soon would be for us to buy an exchange unit in. Now, the reason I'm doing this vlog is because one of the guys that rang up today, and we're having this quite a lot, especially the last couple of years, had a lot of this, where they're ringing up and to get a quote for either a rebuild or an exchange engine, and before I've even given them the price, they're telling me that they've been away and got a quote off another company, wherever this may be. I'm sure there's not just one, I'm sure there's plenty of people like this, but they are quoting on a ridiculous amount of money as in cheap. So they're sort of coming to me and saying, oh, well, there's a company, if I send my vehicle up there, or even we've had it where they will pick the vehicle up, they will take the old unit out, fit an exchange unit, recondition unit, and get it all running and give it them back for £1,500. And what I am saying is, do not fall into this trap. There's no way, or very, very unlikely, they are going to fit an exchange engine or even supply an exchange engine for £1,500. It's just not going to happen. They are either scamming you in some way, or they are not reconditioning it. I'll be very surprised if they're even putting a second-hand unit in it, in a lot of cases, because some of these second-hand units are quite expensive now. And I will tell you of one example of this sort of scam. He approached me quite a while ago and asked how much an engine would be for his vehicle, because it was knocking or something like that. And I said, you're going to be in the region, I think it was a Sprinter engine. I said, you're going to be in the region of £2,500 to £3,000 plus the VAT, and that would be for a reconditioned unit, not fitted, mine. Didn't hear anything else from him. He's then obviously gone online, done his sort of homework, and he found a place up in Birmingham, I believe, and they quoted him, I can't remember the exact figure now, but they quoted him something like a couple of grand to exactly what I said, take the engine out, fit a reconditioned engine, or strip his and recondition it, and, you know, give it him back all running fine. And what happened to him was, they got the vehicle up there, they proceeded in stripping the engine completely, then give him the good news that it's not going to be £2,000, it's going to be more like £5,000. This was a new trick to us. So he obviously didn't want to spend that sort of money, rang me up and asked me how much an exchange engine would be, and I told him, you know, it was, I think it was about 2,800 plus the VAT, and I could get someone to sort of fit it for and take the old unit out for about £1,000. He didn't have that sort of money. He then tried to get hold of these guys and tell them not to go ahead, and they said, well, we've already done it, you owe us X amount, which was more than the original quote, just to sort of give him his truck back because of the time they spent on it. He went up there twice, even drove up himself twice. No one would want to speak to him. His van was in the compound there, bits all over the place. Some of the bits were missing from the engine. Yeah, hell of a game. He then managed to get his van back eventually with most of the engine, but he didn't have the cylinder block, mine. God knows where that went. And in the end, he paid someone else to fit the engine, and we supplied him a reconditioned engine. He had to go and borrow a load of money, and it ended up costing him a lot more than it would have done in the first place. So just a word of warning, guys, if it sounds a bit too good to be true, it normally is. I hate doing it on the phone because it always sounds like I'm trying to get them to spend their money with us, but I'm really not. We're not overly bothered whether we sort of get involved with buying an engine in, to be honest, for something like this, because as I said to you before, 9 times out of 10 people don't do what you ask them to do for the warranty. And with most of these vehicles where they ring up, the engines are troublesome anyway. The vehicle's got to the point where it is troublesome and we don't want to know. So it's just a little vlog, guys. Just be aware, if you're unsure and you have this issue and you do get quotes, please give us a ring and I will tell you exactly what sort of money you should be looking at, whether you go with us or not. So yeah, look out, guys. So we got the rocker cover for the Cosworth. I've got it on my little turntable jig here. Just allows me to turn it around. And you can see I've given it a first coat of the Moonstone Blue. So what I normally do is I just heat it up with the blowtorch there until the sort of moisture comes through and then evaporates away, and then I know it's sort of warm enough. Now, I'm not a sprayer. I've been doing these rocker covers for years now, and they've always sort of turned out okay, but I'm sure there's many people out there that are going to comment down below on how wrong I'm doing this. As I say, this always seems to have worked for us. And at the end of the day, as long as the paint stays on and looks nice, then that really is what it's all about. But I'm just going over it now, give it a little second coat, and I'm going to leave this to dry. And what I normally do then, we've got the lacquer over there, so I'm going to set it up on the milling machine, the one that I do the heads on over there. I'm going to skim over the top to bring this area here and the top of the spark plug areas here, that'll be all polished there. And then obviously the lettering inside will be the moonstone, and then we're going to lacquer over the top of it. So yeah, interested to see how this comes out. Looks really nice in that colour actually. It's a little bit like a graphite-y sort of colour, but yeah, very nice. Right, so we're up against the bloody clock here, and we still haven't heard about the rods yet. But in the meantime, the studs have just turned up, the long studs, so I've just got those in. I'm just about to get our little washers in there. But in the meantime, the rocker cover's all dried, and as you can see, that's come up lovely. So I'm just setting this up on our mill. As you can see, you've not got a lot of height on this to clamp it. Fortunately, you've got a couple of little breather holes in each end, so I've got a little purpose bolt that goes into the end of there, and I can clamp this thing down. So I'm gonna get a cut on this and see if it cleans up. Sometimes we have to put a fresh sort of face on the cutter on here to get a nice finish, but I'm gonna give it a cut over and just see what it looks like. So it's the same as skimming ahead really. I've just put a 5 thou cut on this. You normally find that these things, because of the heat over time, they're normally all over the place, but there's plenty of thickness there. You can see the depth of the writing, so you've probably got about 1.5 mil of depth there to get a decent finish on it. We're just going to see what that looks like. So we give it a 1/5 thou lick over, and it's actually cleaned. It's very rare for one of these, but as you can see, it's got a finish like a bear's bottom. So I've just faced the tip. You can see that. Just give it a little face on the bench grinder, and I'm going to give it a very light sort of 2 thou lick over and see what it comes out like. So there's the rocker cover, guys. As you can see, it's come out really nice. Now we're going to give it a little dusting over with the lacquer, and when I say dusting over, all I want to do is just go over it and give it a bit of protection really. I don't want to really put much more of a gloss on there. This finish here is what they were sort of like originally. It's more so just to protect all the machining marks and give it a very slight bit of gloss, I suppose, and protect the paintwork and make it sort of easier to clean. But we certainly don't want a high gloss finish on this. That's not what they were like originally. And to be honest, the first rocker cover I ever did was one for my own Sierra, and we give it a very glossy sort of finish, and in my eyes it looked absolutely crap. So we're just going to give this a dusting over, leave that to dry, and then that is all done. Well, thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Until another video, comment down below on what you think about that vlog earlier on in this video. And as I say, if you're in doubt, guys, just ring us up. We're more than willing to give you some advice on our experience. But until another one, have a good evening. Take care, guys.